Imagine there's a cryptocurrency that's not chasing headlines or hyping itself on social media. Instead, it's quietly working behind the scenes with governments, banks, and real companies to solve one of the most important problems in the global economy: how money moves. Now here's the kicker. You've probably never even heard of it. While the crypto world obsesses over meme coins, flashy NFTs, and the dream of going to the moon, this project has been quietly doing the opposite, putting its head down, building real-world tools, and gaining trust where it actually counts: in finance, trade, and international payments. No hype, no drama, just execution. And right now, as the world moves toward a new financial messaging standard called ISO 20022, this coin is already positioned and compliant, while most of the market is still asleep at the wheel. Its name? XDC. Never heard of it? You're not alone. But that's exactly what makes this so fascinating. Because while everyone's eyes are on the loudest coins in the room, XDC is quietly building the infrastructure that could power a new era of digital finance. This isn't a get-rich-quick pitch. This is about understanding what's actually being built while most people are distracted by noise. So whether you're completely new to crypto, or just curious about what really matters beneath all the hype, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and let's break down what XDC is doing, and why it just might be the most important hidden gem in crypto today. Let's get started. What is ISO 20022? And why does it matter? Okay, let's break down the thing that's confusing everyone. ISO 20022. Weird name, right? Sounds like a robot serial number. But trust me, it's one of the most important updates in modern financial history. So what is it? At its core, ISO 20022 is a new language for money. Not paper money, digital money. The kind banks, payment systems, and governments use to send trillions of dollars around the world every day. Right now, believe it or not, most of the world's money still moves using old, outdated systems that were built before smartphones, before the internet became global, and definitely before cryptocurrency existed. Imagine trying to stream Netflix using dial-up internet. That's what global payments have felt like for years. Slow, clunky, and full of delays. ISO 20022 is the upgrade. It's like switching from fax machines to high-speed email. It allows money to move faster, more securely, and with more detailed information. And here's the big part. Over 70 countries, major banks, and financial institutions are all switching to this system. It's not a theory. It's already in motion. Now here's where crypto comes in. A handful of cryptocurrencies, including XDC, were specifically built to be compatible with this new ISO standard. They're not trying to replace the banking system. They're trying to plug into it and make it better. XDC isn't fighting banks. It's building a bridge between blockchain and traditional finance, using the same digital language the banks are now adopting. That's why ISO 20022 matters. Because it's not just a tech upgrade, it's a global reset in how value is moved, and the cryptocurrencies that align with it are the ones that could be part of that new system. And in the middle of all that, XDC. So now that you know what ISO 20022 is, let's look at what makes XDC different from all the other coins trying to join the conversation. What makes XDC so special? Now that we understand what ISO 20022 is, a new global language for money, let's talk about XDC and why it may be one of the most underrated players in the entire crypto space. Because while everyone's looking at the coins that shout the loudest, XDC is quietly fixing one of the biggest financial problems in the world. Let's start with this question. Have you ever ordered something from overseas? Maybe a gadget from China or clothes from Europe. Now imagine that process on a massive global scale, not for one item, but for millions of containers of goods being shipped every single day. That's trade finance, and it's a complete mess. It's a system where companies still send paper invoices across the ocean. Payments take days or even weeks to clear. Banks charge huge fees just to move money from point A to B. And every step requires trust between strangers, even when they've never met. This is where XDC steps in and why it matters. XDC isn't trying to be flashy. It's trying to be useful. It allows businesses, banks, and regulators to share data, payments, and documents, all instantly, securely, and without needing to rely on outdated tech or expensive middlemen. So what makes it different? Here's what's truly special. Speed. XDC transactions happen in seconds, not days. Cost. It's extremely cheap to use, we're talking fractions of a cent. Energy efficient. It's designed to be eco-friendly, unlike Bitcoin, which burns energy like a small country. Real-world ready. It's already being used by platforms like TradeFinex, which helps small businesses in developing countries get loans and do business globally. ISO 20022 compatible. So it can easily plug into banks, governments, and payment systems that are switching to the new standard. And here's the kicker. XDC is also being used to create tokenized versions of real-world documents, like bills of lading, trade agreements, and invoices. That means no more printing, scanning, or shipping paper halfway around the world. Imagine the ripple effect. A coffee exporter in Brazil sends beans to a cafe in France. With XDC, the payment is instant, the documents are verified, and both parties save time, money, and legal headaches. That's not a crypto dream, that's a working solution. Most coins focus on making money. XDC focuses on moving money and moving the things that make the world run. So if it's already doing all this, why isn't it everywhere? Why aren't people shouting about it from the rooftops? Simple. XDC isn't built for hype. It's built for systems. And systems don't need headlines, they need results. But don't mistake quiet for weak. Because when the rest of the world finally catches up, the quietest projects tend to be the ones that have already built the future while no one was watching. Why no one's talking about XDC, and why that might be a good thing. Let's be real for a second. In the crypto world, visibility is everything, or so it seems. If a project doesn't have memes, influencers, Discord hype, or Reddit threads going viral, most people just assume it's not worth their time. But what if that assumption is costing people the chance to see real value? Because while the crowd is distracted with the next meme coin, airdrop season, or AI token trend, XDC has been building something boring, something real, something useful. And that might be the smartest move of all. The spotlight is a double-edged sword. Let's take a look at the crypto space. The coins that scream the loudest often burn out the fastest. They rise on emotion, on FOMO, on influencers promising 100x gains. But when regulations come down or the hype dries up, what happens? They vanish. Or worse, they crash, leaving people holding empty bags. XDC doesn't play that game. It hasn't built its name on promises or personalities. It's built it on quiet execution, solving one of the biggest problems in global business. How to move value across borders efficiently and securely. Now, that's not exciting to someone chasing the next moonshot. But to institutions, banks, governments, that's gold. Think of it like this. Imagine two startups. One is flashy. They've got celebrity endorsements, viral campaigns, and millions of followers. But they haven't launched a product yet. The other one, you've never heard of it. But it already has paying customers, real revenue, and quietly signed a deal with a government agency. Which one would you bet on long term? That's XDC's story. It's not sexy. It's not trending. But it's actually working while others are still talking. And that's why so few are talking about it. It's not for the crowd. It's for the system. Here's the truth most people miss. XDC isn't trying to replace the banking system. It's trying to upgrade it from the inside. That's a different game. It requires patience. It requires compliance. It requires building trust, not just gaining attention. And that kind of work, it doesn't make headlines. It shows up in private meetings, quiet partnerships, test pilots, and integration trials. It shows up in trade corridors, regulatory sandboxes, and tokenized supply chain documents. The slow, steady, and incredibly strategic. And when that kind of work finally clicks into place, it's too late to be early. The silence isn't a weakness, it's a strategy. If you're just hearing about XDC now, don't feel bad. In fact, you're still early because most of the world still doesn't get it. They won't, not until the headlines shift. Not until a major government names XDC as part of a national digital trade program. Not until a global platform adopts XDC for instant payments between small businesses across continents. Not until a few green candles hit the chart, and the noise machine turns back on. But by then, the smart money will already be in position. Because in every major shift, whether it's the internet, smartphones, or now finance, the ones who win aren't the loudest. They're the ones who built the foundation while no one was looking. And that's exactly what XDC has been doing. Now the big question, if XDC really has all this going for it, is it the real winner of the ISO 20022 race? Is XDC the real winner? We've come a long way. You now know ISO 20022 isn't just financial jargon. It's the foundation of the new digital money system being adopted by over 70 countries and counting. You've seen how XDC fits perfectly into this upgrade, solving real-world problems in global trade and cross-border payments. And you've understood why it hasn't made headlines, not because it's weak, but because it's been busy building. So now, let's answer the question that's been sitting in the back of your mind. Is XDC the real winner? And here's the honest answer. If winner means the loudest coin on social media, the one that pumps hardest after Elon tweets, then no, XDC isn't the winner. But if winner means the coin that gets adopted behind the scenes by institutions, governments, and trade networks, then XDC might already be so far ahead, the race is over, and most people haven't even noticed. What makes a real winner in this game? Most of the crypto world is obsessed with hype cycles. But long-term success, especially in financial infrastructure, comes down to 5 things: real utility, scalability, low fees, regulatory compliance, integration into existing systems. XDC checks all 5. Let's break that down. Utility. XDC is already being used by platforms like TradeFinex to finance real-world trade deals between small businesses in developing countries and buyers in major economies. Scalability. XDC's hybrid blockchain model lets it handle high-volume transactions without slowing down or racking up fees. Low fees. XDC is extremely cheap to use, perfect for business environments where every cent counts. Regulatory alignment. XDC was built with compliance in mind, working with trade organizations and finance networks that actually follow laws, not fight them in courtrooms. Integration. This one is huge. XDC isn't asking banks to tear everything down and start over. It's offering them a plug-and-play solution that slides into the systems they're already using, especially as those systems move toward ISO 20022. It's not about hype, it's about timing. You know what the real advantage is? XDC was early, but not too early. It launched quietly, built carefully, and positioned itself right as the world was preparing to upgrade its financial infrastructure. Think of it like this. Everyone was focused on crypto being the future of currency, buying coffee, tipping online, sending remittances. Meanwhile, XDC aimed at something far less glamorous but way more powerful, being the behind-the-scenes engine for the global economy. And now, with ISO 20022 adoption spreading fast, the world is finally moving in the direction XDC was designed for from day one. So, is it the winner? Honestly, we won't know for a while. This isn't a 24-hour trading play. It's a long game. But here's what we do know. XDC is already working where others are still theorizing. It's solving a $1 trillion pain point in trade finance. It's ISO 20022 ready, meaning it's part of the new system that's already replacing the old one. And it's still wildly under the radar, which means the potential upside is massive for anyone who understands its value early. So yes, XDC just might be the quiet winner of the ISO 20022 race. Not because it shouts, but because it delivers. And if the financial system really is being rebuilt in real time, it won't be the noisiest coins that succeed. It'll be the ones that were built for the moment the world finally caught up. And that moment might be now. The world is rewiring. Will you catch it in time? Let's zoom out. While everyone's been glued to meme coins, influencer hype, and crypto courtroom drama, a different kind of project has been working not for attention but for impact. XDC isn't here to entertain. It's here to integrate, into trade, into banking, into the rails that move trillions behind the scenes every single day. It's not loud because it doesn't have to be. It's not chasing headlines because it's busy chasing real solutions. And it's not built for virality. It's built for value. Because the truth is, Every major shift in history looks boring at first. The internet was once a joke. Amazon was once just an online bookstore. And Bitcoin was once worth less than a cup of coffee. But the people who paid attention early, not because of hype, but because they understood the fundamentals, they're the ones who didn't just ride the wave, they helped shape it. Now you're in that same position. You've seen what XDC is really doing. You understand why it fits into ISO 20022. You've connected the dots between trade finance, global infrastructure, and a digital future most people still don't see coming. The question is, what will you do with that understanding? Because by the time the headlines start screaming, by the time the influencers discover it, by the time everyone suddenly becomes an expert on XDC, the moment to be early will have passed. So here's what happens now. Subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications, and stay tuned, because this space is changing fast, and you'll want to be ready before the rest of the world wakes up. We'll keep breaking down the quiet projects that are building the future, while everyone else is still stuck watching the noise. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about price predictions or market cycles. It's about seeing the signal through the static. It's about knowing where value is, even when no one's talking about it. XDC isn't asking for your attention. It's earning its place in the future. And this was your signal. Don't miss the next one.